Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another speed build here on the channel. This speed build is a little past overdue. I will explain sort of why it's overdue, but basically sort of the way I'm going to do this video is I'm going to quickly go over the collab, because this was technically supposed to be part of a collab. I'm going to go over the collab and like some of the details of that, and then I'm going to try to do like a sort of quick explanation of why I did things that did and like what sort of feel I was sort of going for in a way and such. And then I'm going to explain basically some of the reasons to why this is late. It's partially just for me to be able to sort of, I guess vent is the best term of it, but not exactly either. It's not like I'm angry or upset. A lot of this stuff I could not plan for ahead of time, and a lot of it wasn't even like stuff that anyone can control completely, or like, you know, anyway. But that's a totally different thing. But I'm leaving that for last, so that if you just want to watch the video and you don't want to hear me like talk about all the issues that have occurred in December for me, then you can just like mute the video and watch it and listen to music as you watch me speed build, and then see the screenshots at the very end of the video. So yeah, anyway, but that's sort of the layout of how I'm going to do this video, because yeah. But yeah, I did still want to place this video. Like I said, it was technically late because it was supposed to be a part of collab. It was supposed to come out on the 25th, which is Christmas Day. And things happened, and I didn't even get to work on this build until the 24th, and I didn't have much time to work on it on the 24th. But I will go into that later, like I said, in more details. But I still wanted to post this video, partially because the fact that there are other people that participated in this collab actually had their builds up and things like that, and I do want to include their links down in the description. I mean, that's part of the that we have to do that as part of the collab, but that is one of my bigger motivators of still getting that out there, so that if someone happens to come across my video that doesn't come across their video, they can get some recognition maybe and such. So definitely go check out the people down in the comments below. Definitely check out Sims streamers and YouTubers if you're interested. They do their events and stuff like this on their Facebook page, so definitely check that out over there. As for the rules for this particular collab, there had to be at least 10 people. I think it was 10 people that had to participate to get this collab up and going. And it was on the I do know that they had issues with this one, and I feel like a few people posted their videos on 2 different days. So if you're gonna go click on the links down below and you're gonna go try to look for their specific video, it's either gonna be up on the 21st or it's gonna be up on the 25th. And the reason was, I did see Jen have a post where she was talking about she could not actually post it to be on the 25th. Probably something about events conflicting with the fact that it was Christmas Day or something. Who knows? I'm assuming that's probably what it is, but she could not post it as the 25th being the time for the event, or the deadline for the event anyway. So on the thing it said the 21st, and it was actually the 25th. So people's videos are up on 2 different days, and I mean, I could see where it's confusing. I started panicking when I finally got around to this on the 24th and seen the 21st the first time, and then I went through and checked the comments and things like that and found out it was the 25th. But obviously I still did not get it up on the 25th. But you know, that's just because my life was a wreck this month. But anyway, on to still talking about the details of this collab. It had to be a holiday home, a home that was celebrating some sort of holiday that is during this month, because there's several holidays. I don't even know the exact number that is going on during December. I know there's at least 3 huge ones, but I want to say that there's more that I'm potentially forgetting. Sorry. But yeah, so you could decorate it in those holidays. I went with Christmas because I am personally most used to Christmas in my own life, so I wouldn't want to attempt to do the other holidays and not really know much about them, because I feel like there's chances of me potentially messing those up more. And I wouldn't want to do that to someone's holiday, and such, so, you know, I just went with the holiday I was personally used to, which is Christmas. Also, not gonna lie, when it comes to decorations, when you're not using CC, there is not as many decorations for those other holidays as it is Christmas. I don't know if that's because, you know, Christmas is more, well, like, more celebrated, because I know several people that are not in the Christian religion that still celebrate Christmas. So I know, like, Christmas is a sort of religion-based I mean, it is a religion-based holiday, but at the same time, it's gotten so big and it's gotten to the point to where a lot of other people that are not even in that religion celebrate it. Yeah, they probably celebrate it somewhat differently, so, but still, you know, it's still celebrated to a certain extent, by people who are not in that religion. So maybe that's why, because it's one of the it's like the big one, it's the one that's well known, or maybe, like I said, I don't know as much about the other holidays, so maybe they just don't decorate as crazily as some people decorate for Christmas. I mean, some people go way over the top for Christmas. I don't think I would have the energy to do that. And I enjoy decorating for Christmas to a certain extent, but literally like 2-3 hours into decorating, I'm already done. And it usually takes more than that, even for just a little bit of Christmas decorating. The tree alone takes a while. But, anyway. Also, you could use any packs, and you could use CC. I don't tend to use CC in my builds, not because I don't like it. I actually love CC in my builds, but I am finding myself to the point where I don't use Build C as much, because even when I move in my own families, I don't add as much CC to it as I think I'm going to. In some cases I do, some cases I go crazy and I add a bunch of CC to a house after I start using it for my own Sims, and then sometimes I just literally leave it as is and only add to it as like the family expands or changes. So, and that's when I might add some CC, but yeah, I don't typically use CC in my builds for the pure fact that I do upload them and I want them to be more accessible to people and people don't have to worry about all the CC that is connected to it. And the fact that I also don't pretty much ever limit myself in packs, that already is going to hinder some people, so I don't want to make it even worse. Now, as regards to the packs, I don't think I used nearly as many packs in this build as I do a lot of other builds. I think because, I mean, this is a pretty decent sized build, but it's not huge. I will say, for the fact I barely cut anything out of this. I think I even left the bathrooms in, if I'm remembering correctly, because I only took out me placing the lights, because that's something I always do. I always place the lights before I add wallpapers and flooring and anything, because I want to see what color it looks like with those particular lighting. And I think I took out placing the doors. I don't think I took out making the layout, but maybe I did. I potentially did. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, those are like the only things, and they were like in the same group together, but eventually you'll see the layout many times and stuff like that, so that's a reason why sometimes I cut out the layout and the doors as well. So those things I'm like, so a lot of times I will cut those out. But considering the size of it and the fact that I went really detailed in some of the rooms, I'm sort of surprised that I could fit as much as I could in this video. But anyway, back to the topic. I don't think I used as many packs, but I can't say that for 100% because, like I said, I don't usually pay too much attention. A lot of times if I've known that I've stayed away from a certain pack for pretty much the whole build, I'll try not to use it. So let's say that I know that I haven't used any glamour, what is it, glamour stuff? Is it just, or vintage glamour? Whatever. Anyway, I haven't used any from that pack, and I'm on like the last 2 or 3 rooms. I will try not to use that if I can. Sometimes I just do things on impulse. The fact that I try to avoid my first pet stuff every single build, and still there's like 1, 2, 3 builds that sneak by with some stuff from my first pet stuff. So yeah, sometimes things slip through, but I do at least try to do that. But yeah, for those of you who might be interested in trying to download this for yourself, you can always see what packs I have stuff from. You can even click on the pack and see what items were used for that particular build. It may only be literally 1 or 2 items, and you could probably easily replace those with items from other packs. Or if you're someone who uses CC on your own stuff, you can replace it with a CC item. But yeah, this will be up for download if you would like to download it up on my gallery. The information will be down in the description below. And again, everyone else's stuff is going to be down in the description below. So again, check that out. This is just another reminder to check them out down there. But yeah, it's Artistic Gamer 7, and this should be the SSY Holiday Cottage. Try to remember what I named it. But yeah, so it should be up there for you on the gallery to download if you would like. I do know when doing this build, a lot of times I filter it for 4 main packs, so I know those packs are in there. And that is, Seasons is the big one. That's the big one. The holiday stuff is a big one, but that is a free pack. I think pretty much everyone should have that one. I don't think they did it like you had to be playing Sims at a certain time to get this pack. I think everyone gets it. So yeah, anyway. And Snowy Escape, partially because I was like, there might be some items in Snowy Escape because, you know, Snowy Escape is about snow and things like that, and this is going to have a snowy feel once I go in. I actually go in, change the season for the screenshots to winter, so some of the plants that I put outside made no sense, but I was sort of thinking about it, whether or not if people placed it in a place that doesn't snow too often, and maybe the flowers didn't even die much, there's still some color in those, so that's partially the reason why, because obviously you don't have to place this build in the same place that I placed it if you do download it. But there was also some items that would have made sense for the sort of theme I was going for, more for the outside of it, even though I don't have a whole lot of items outside. And that also leads up to the other pack that I constantly filtered it to, which is Outdoor Retreat. So I did build this in Granite Falls, and I do know this wallpaper that is literally all over the house is from Outdoor Retreat. So I will say that is one thing from Outdoor Retreat I know that will disappear, all the walling. All the wall stuff, because I was trying to go for like a log cabin cottage feel, and I know not every single one of them literally has logs throughout the whole entire house, but I have been in one, except for like 1 or 2 areas where it was like a feature wall, and those feature walls also had fireplaces in them, so that was also partially probably why, that had stone on them. But the rest of it was like nothing but like logs, like log walling. I don't know what the actual term would necessarily be, but you know, it's the big giant logs going throughout the whole entire thing, and you could sort of see the line where they're like being held together or whatever by whatever they use. I don't know all that stuff, but yeah, so that's more of what I was going for, was like, you know, it's got literally this whole thing is made out of logs mainly. Obviously there's probably other stuff going on in the build as well, but you know, I don't know all that stuff. So that is a big reason why I did keep Outdoor Retreat in mind, because this is going for more of a cabin, like cottage sort of feel. I was thinking in my head that this is more of like a vacation home for this family, but they ended up making it a tradition that they go and celebrate Christmas there every year, because in my head, especially with Granite Falls, I would just be like, you know, maybe it snows a little bit more there, maybe they're a little bit higher up in the mountain or whatever, or elevation. So, you know, it's a nice little thing to do as a family, because everyone's off from school and work for the most part and stuff like that. So if they're not, they like literally like January 1st at their job, they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be here next year, but if I need this week of Christmas off, so they put it in super early so they can try to get it off. But yeah, so anyway, this is like a little vacation home that they make it a thing every year that they go and actually celebrate Christmas here. So they like decorate it super crazily with Christmas stuff and stuff like that, things like that. So a lot of the stuff, like I included skis and snowboards outside, because if they're coming here, especially mainly during the winter every single time, you know, they could go out snowboarding and skiing. Obviously, they can't actually do that in Granite Falls, but you know, just in theory. just for the look purposes. But I will say I tried to put as much Christmas stuff all over this house as I possibly could. And by the way, as you can tell, I've already just drifted into talking about the build itself. I am done with, like, the rules and details of the collab. I didn't just sidetrack, actually. In some ways, I sort of did, but it was more of a purpose thing. But yeah, anyway. So, I definitely try to focus more of the Christmas mainly in the living room, because that's where, like, the main Christmas tree is. But I put, like, little Christmas trees here and there. Like, I sized them down to not make them be quite as big and grand as this one. I was thinking about doing the one where they can decorate them themselves and have Sims come here, because I had to have Sims come here to take the screenshots anyway. But I changed my mind on that and just used a regular Christmas tree. That was already decorated, but as you can see, like, the entryway has a Christmas tree in it. There's eventually going to be one in one of the kids' rooms, and then there's also going to be one in the dining room that you will eventually see. But the living room is supposed to be the main place. Try to give it that cottage cabin feel with, like, the chairs and things like that, but then, like, Christmas literally vomited in this room type feel. And this garland thing that I'm doing, actually, I did it, this is me trying to look at it. I was trying to, at least if you're seeing the exact same part. Sometimes my voiceovers don't line up exactly, because once I go through editing, I realize some things. But anyway, I was trying to see what it looked like from the view of the Sims in a way. So, it's like glitching camera that you potentially see at some time at that point. But the garland. So I did this, even though if it didn't have the ornaments on, it would have been more like what I was going for, but there is no, like, garland type stuff without the ornaments on it that hangs from the ceiling. My mom, before she got, like, a little bit more down in her health and things like that, sicker, when she was more up and moving and could do a lot more, she used to literally decorate this whole entire house, every single room, from ceiling to floor, with Christmas. And one of my biggest memories that she used to do is having literally garland everywhere. It was going across the living room. We sort of have 2 living rooms in a way, because they added on a section to the house when my mom became pregnant with me, because there was nowhere to put me. So they had to add a section onto the house. So there's sort of like 2 living rooms. They're connected by like an archway door, but like we just had a thing where we call one the living room and one the good living room. The one living room is like not used nearly as much as the other one. So yeah, but anyway, both of them had garland all over their ceilings. There was garlands coming down the different archways, into the hallways. It was all over the place. So that was partially why I did that. It was sort of like just a little memory thing that I sort of had with my mom doing that all over the place. So I try to put garland in a lot of places. Now, this still does not equal to the amount of garland that she put it in our house, but it was a little too much with the ornaments on it, so I tried not to do any more than that. But yeah, I did try to make the living room the most Christmas-like, and then every other room still has something Christmas in it, but no rooms compare to the living room. And I think the entry room is the next most Christmas. The kitchen/dining room here would probably be the next, and then probably the parents' room would be the next most Christmassy. But yeah, so there is Christmas in every single room. The teenager's room, in my head it's a teenager, has the least amount of Christmas, because I feel like not all teenagers, but a big majority of them, you know, not as much into that holiday. I feel like that time of period, like you're a kid, you're super into that holiday, you're excited about it, but then when you become a teen, you're not as excited about it anymore. It's like, whatever. You know, a lot of teens sometimes get annoyed with family and stuff like that, so it's whatever. So they don't care as much. So there is decoration in there, but not nearly as much as the 2 other kids do, because I had like one that was like a child's room and one was the toddler's room. So there's Christmas in both of their rooms, but not so much the teenager's room, because the teenager probably doesn't quite care as much. They at least put something up, but not nearly as much. And I think even if you were going with the fact that maybe your oldest child was even older at that point, like if they kept coming back to this holiday home, if they're a young adult, still a lot of times, unless you're already having kids, I think Christmas doesn't get as enjoyable as it was as a child until you have kids or you're a little bit older in age. To me, like, I still like Christmas, but I still don't find it as exciting. And I'm 27 now, and I'm more excited seeing my nieces on Christmas than I am anything else. So yeah, like, I'm like, eh. But, so, eh. But yeah, that's sort of the biggest basis, like, the big thing in this was just trying to get it as much Christmas as possible. Trying not to overtop the living room anywhere. Even the bathrooms have, like, a little bit of Christmas. They probably have the least amount of Christmas in them, in all honesty, as the bathrooms, but it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't decorate my bathroom as much for Christmas as some of the other rooms. Yeah, the bathroom is a room that almost everyone's gonna see, because at some point someone's gonna have to go. But for me, like, there's this, he doesn't work anymore, or at least when I tried to have him work, it didn't. But we used to have this Santa in a bathtub, and that was, like, usually the only Christmas decoration in the bathroom for the longest time, except for when my mom was putting garland everywhere. Then the bathroom was crazy Christmas as well then too. But after the less she started decorating for Christmas, like, it's slowly over time, it became less and less. And eventually the bathroom literally only had the Santa in the bathtub, and everyone expected him to be there, and that was, like, the only decoration in the bathroom. But I don't know. Something about, I don't feel the need to decorate the bathroom. But I did put some things, like a rug in there, and I think, like, a picture in some of them, or, like, a little wreath. Those things are really easy to put up and, like, you know, put out and up, so it's like whatever with those things. But going full crazy Christmas in a bathroom, yeah, no, I'm probably never gonna do that in my lifetime. My mom, she did at one point, but that's her. Now I'm going to move on to the part that's sort of like why I didn't get this, and it's sort of to just let me sort of, in some ways, vent, but not exactly vent, because it's not like I'm, like, upset about this stuff and things like that, because, I mean, a lot of it I couldn't control and stuff like that, and I just don't see the point of dwelling on it also. But I wish when I started this collab I would have just built this immediately as soon as I joined in the beginning of December, but I was not late enough joining that I couldn't join, because, like, the cutoff was the 10th, but I still was very close. It was like the 9th or the 10th that I actually signed up. But still, I wish I would have done it immediately, because literally not too many days after I signed up, I started having issues with my unemployment. With not getting into too big of a details, basically I was randomly selected for an audit, and during that audit things didn't seem to add up to what I put in, to what my job had given her. So basically, long story short, the job that I mainly worked at, because technically I was employed at two, but I basically never worked at the other one. I was there if they really needed me, but that was it. But the one that I worked at the most, the payroll was from Saturday to Friday. But for unemployment, Saturdays are supposed to go on obviously the week that they're part of. But for the pay stubs for my job, it seemed like they were with the week after. And when they asked for proof of my pay stubs from my employer, they said they needed Sunday through Saturday. But my job just sent over the regular pay stubs, and there's basically no point in trying to, like, argue it, because that's what they have to go off of, is what that job sent them. But it's definitely the pay stubs for Saturday through Friday and not the Sunday through Friday, which messed me up. But eventually I finally got a hold of someone from unemployment and got things figured out to the point that I understand what's going on, and, like, it's not actually going to be as big of a deal it seemed, but it was like I was going to have to pay a whole lot of money back to unemployment, and I was stressing and freaking out over this so much. Like, I could not do a lot of things, because, like, I was, like, trying not to do, like, any work sort of type stuff, but I couldn't even barely enjoy games because I was just so stressed out about this, like, so worried, because it was a large amount of money. But then it was explained to me that in some ways, like, I'm not losing that money, it's going back into my unemployment pot, and then I get it back. But that's the best way to describe it. There was longer terms that I was told, and, like, a longer explanation, but trying not to drag it out too much. That's sort of what's happening. And also realizing that, you know, trying to be the fact that, you know, my job has weird pay stubs. So, anyway. So that was, like, the first thing that happened. And, you know, this month is always hectic. December is always hectic because of the holidays. And normally, I didn't even do my monthly collab. I originally was going to think about trying it, but I decided not to, and, like, that's partial the reason why I decided to join this one, because I'm like, I'm not doing my monthly collab. I'm not working retail right now, because both of the jobs I did have, even though the one I basically never worked at, both of those closed down because of the pandemic. So I was like, I don't have a job now, so I'm not working retail, so I'm not gonna have crazy hours and not have to worry about that. So I should be fine. But the thing is, the pandemic itself made things hectic and crazy. It was really hard to get gifts. I had 2 or 3 gifts that to this day are still not here. I've only got 1 in, and like a lot of my friends' gifts are not here yet. My niece's gift is not here yet. My sister's gift literally just got here like yesterday, the day before. So, yeah, but so that technically made a lot of hectic craziness, and technically I couldn't get as much as I probably normally would, because I have to get my dad's gifts for everyone as well, so a lot of times I just combined ours, but I couldn't do things the way that we normally do it. It was a lot of stress. I was running to the store, like, every day, because I realized something. I didn't get a Christmas tree until, like, 5 days before Christmas, because that's a long story in itself, but, you know, so I didn't feel like decorating, so I was decorating last minute. That took up a lot of my time, and it was just pure chaos. But then to top it all off, my sister, we did do our family get together. A lot of us did try to at least stay somewhat far apart, but I live in an area where a lot of people aren't quite as worried about things as I wish they were. But I know, like, me and my boyfriend were staying off sort of by ourselves for the most part, because, anyway, but, this get-together was on Saturday, and come to find, my sister found out on Sunday that one of her coworkers had not been feeling too great on Thursday and Friday. I think it was both days. I definitely know it was Friday because my sister kept talking about Friday. But I want to say she also said that she hadn't been feeling good for like 2 days, and once like it got to the 3rd and 4th day, she was starting to get concerned. So her friend decided to finally tell everyone, because she went to work and didn't tell anyone that she wasn't even feeling that great. And come to find out, she was positive. So then my sister had to go get tested, and then like all of us were like, none of us got super close to her for long periods of time, but still, and they all wear masks at their work, because she works at a veterinary's office, so they're wearing masks 24/7, but still, like, the chances were probably low, but we were still quite a bit worried. So we didn't even go to my dad's family's get-together, because we obviously didn't want to risk it. My sister hadn't come back positive yet, and her chances were pretty slim, which made our chances even slimmer, but again, didn't want to risk it. So eventually my sister did find out that she was negative. She wasn't having any symptoms either, so that was all good. But by the time she figured it out, it was so close to Christmas. Literally, like, I had already had plans on Christmas Eve with my boyfriend and his dad's side of the family. So I started this build on Christmas Eve, by the way. It was supposed to be uploaded on Christmas Day. But so many things were going on, and then, like, it dawned on me, like, on the 23rd. I was like, late 23rd, I was like, wait. I have a build that that's probably due, and I panicked a little bit because there was the whole mix-up with the 21st and the 25th, because the way that Facebook events, they wouldn't let her put it on the 25th. So yeah, I was like, oh, did I already miss it? I missed it either way, but, you know, whatever. And then I was like, oh no, I don't know if I had, so I started it on the 24th, but I didn't have much time on the 24th because it was like a 2-hour or so drive to get to his dad's side of the family's thing. So, and then we were there, and then it was a 2-hour drive back, so I didn't have much time. And then obviously Christmas Day, I couldn't work on it Christmas Day at all. I thought maybe at one point I could have snuck off to work on it a little bit, but no, no, that didn't happen. And then the day after Christmas, we went to go see my grandma and stuff, since we couldn't see them the one day because of all the other stuff going on. And then I had plans with my boyfriend, and it was just, it wasn't, like, there were so many things that were pre-planned ahead of time, and then all this stuff just happened alongside of it, so it pushed some things back, made things hectic. We didn't get to make Christmas candy like we normally did, because we always make Christmas candy before, so we had to make that after as well, so there was another day planned with family, and it was so much that just happened all in the month of December, and I should just not ever try to do big things in December, because, you know, this year I was like, I don't work retail, I should be fine. No. December still finds its ways to be hectic, no matter what. So yeah, I do apologize for it being late. I don't know, they used to do a thing that you could not participate in the next month's collabs because you were late. I don't know if they still do that necessarily, or if it's just like, because you didn't post it on this day, your video may not get seen as many people because they try to share it and stuff like that on the day that it was. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I do apologize for it being late. I'm okay if I'm not allowed to participate in January's collabs. With January, I'm gonna get things back on track because you may have noticed my videos schedule is definitely... I had already said ahead of time that I was not going to be posting on Saturdays at all, and I said maybe some Fridays I wouldn't post at all, and if I did, it was only going to be like one video. But there's been a few days, if it wasn't... A lot of all the videos that have been coming up the past like 2 weeks were pre-scheduled. They were scheduled long before all this stuff started happening. So that's the main reason why a lot of those videos are still going out, but it's just been too much going on here and there, and some little things, stuff happening. Not to mention, also, this Christmas was a little bit strange this year, because I'm not going to get to too big of details or anything, because that is technically their personal life, but my brother did technically separate this year, and my nieces, he had to work on Christmas Day, so my nieces were here opening their gifts from their grandpa and aunt, well, 2 aunts, and such, without either one of their parents here, so I felt bad for them. But, you know, so there were several reasons why this Christmas was a little strange, hectic, didn't fully feel like a Christmas, in all honesty. But, so yeah, but, again, I'm sorry, I didn't know that all this stuff was gonna happen. I thought I would be in the clear of being able to get this and such, and I thought I would still, even after the 25th came, I was like, I'll get it up as soon as possible, and I thought it'd be sooner than this. But things happen. Life has its ways of throwing curveballs at you, but still doing good, still doing fine. I'm good. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you actually listen to all of this, thanks for having patience with me. I hope you're enjoying the screenshots that you should be seeing right now. Like I'm pretty sure I said it. This is like the second time I'm recording this voiceover, at least part of it. I got halfway through the first time and I was like, nah, I'm starting over. But I did actually make it snowy outside for the screenshots and things like that, and make it actually close to... I think because the way I did it, when I was taking these screenshots, it actually considered it Winterfest, because it kept it the same day when I changed it from like summer to winter with, I think it was the UI cheats I used, and it was like, so today is Winterfest, so it sort of worked out that way. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this build. Part of the reason why I would have wanted to still share it, as I still had fun with this build. I still liked it. Yeah, I was late getting to it. It was a lot going on. I didn't get it out when I wanted to. All that I feel really bad about and semi-stressed about, but I still enjoyed it. I still like how it turned out. It's like an explosion of Christmas in the living room especially. But yeah, so I hope you really like this build. If so, please hit that lovely like button. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out future builds, because I promise my schedule will go back to the regular schedule starting the first Monday in January, which is the 4th. Just check the calendar. So starting the 4th, my schedule will resume back to like it was. Obviously a few things have changed because the Pokemon collab is done. It finished at the beginning of December. Among Us has sort of taken its place, but I'm also trying to make the Among Us playlist happen like 2 or 3 times a week right now, just because the fact that it's like a guessing game along with it, so I don't want to space it out too far. But yeah, anyway, there will be a build on every Wednesday, Tales on Thursdays, Fame Trio, and most likely Among Us on Fridays. Saturdays is Legend of Zelda with a random Sims video. This first one might be a collection, because I'm going to do like a go-through of 2020 with my Create a Sim and my speed builds, so sort of going through, showing off the screenshots and stuff like that of those builds, and creations of Sims, so them going through that. And right now, Monday is also the Create a Sim. That's another Create a Sim. Monday's always Create a Sims. Tuesday, I'm not actually quite sure what I'm going to do with Tuesday as of right now because my Sims 4 Cult Discussions has finished. I may just let Among Us pop up on Monday, Tuesday, and also Friday until it finishes, and then replace it with another Create a Sim, and then Tuesdays maybe the Not So Berry Challenge, because I am thinking about doing that still. So I might do that on Tuesdays. I'll update you guys with that, whatever I decide there. I am going to be making 1 or 2 vlogs coming up, so those might randomly pop up on a Tuesday. A lot of times my vlogs will probably be on like one Sunday a month, because I don't usually upload on Sundays except for special things, occasions, or vlogs. So depending, I'll see how that goes. But yeah, anyway, I hope that, you know, you had a fun time when watching the build and have enjoyed it. I know 2020 for most of us has been poop. I have not cared for 2020 except for a few things here and there. The biggest thing is the fact that technically me and my boyfriend started dating in 2019, but it was the tail end of 2019, literally halfway through November, so it was like a month and a half of 2019, but we've been together this whole year, and I'm absolutely glad to have him in my life so much. So that's been a good thing for me, even though a lot of other things have been poop. But I hope 2021 is better for everyone and such. And I hope you have a great day and a great next year, which is coming very soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!